Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. This is Adam Torres, and this is a daily show. Each and every day, we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration. If you'd like to apply to be a guest, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today's guest is JD Tremblay, and he is over from Hungry Warrior Academy, which I want to get into. He's the Director of High Performance and a Mental Resilience Advisor. And again, the name of the organization is Hungry Warrior Academy. JD, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Adam.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about today. So, of course, I want to get into what you're doing over at Hungry Warrior Academy and really engineering human performance. So what that looks like and how you're helping individuals do that. But I guess just to get us kicked off here, tell us a little bit more of your backstory. Like, how did you get interested and involved in helping individuals when it comes to things like performance? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, for sure. At the Hungry Warrior Academy, we help build men to achieve that peak performance through the DECA system so they can live strong and reach their full potential. And I got into this as a young age because I was always hungry for more, and that was always something that I was aspiring, was always learning about the human physiology and how that mental resilience was driving all of our outcomes. And then eventually I ended up being one of 3 people who did the Epic DECA, which is how we created this system. And the Epic DECA is 10 Ironman in 10 days on 6 different Hawaiian islands. And there's only 3 people in the world that did this.
Man, that's such an amazing thing. If I can take you back to that time, like when you committed, when you made the decision, like mentally in your head, and I know we're talking about neural pathways and a whole lot more here today, but when you made that decision and you were resolute in it and you're like, there's no turning back, what was that like? That's a lot.
Yeah, it's always has been a driving factor. I think a lot of people in today's age have a problem with their attention span. And I think that it's quite sad that those leaders, they face enormous pressure. And that's what I wanted to become. I wanted to become a leader. I wanted to be that driven individual. And now to be that individual and to be able to build these men is a great reward.
So going back to that accomplishment, though, I'm curious about it. So like one of 3 people in the world, like what it's a question, by the way. I would argue that that's just a whole nother level of drive or thought process to even want to accomplish or attempt something like that. Like, would you say differently, or would you say that maybe others have the ability to do big things like that through working through programs such as yours? I'm just curious about that, because that's like 1 out of 3. That's hard, you know?
Yeah, well, that's why we created these systems. The DECA system, which is based on discipline, energy, regulation, the capacity. Are you capable of doing it? And then definitely a lot of people are missing out on the execution part, which is the action. And then we have 4 pillars that drives these actions, which is the eternal restoration, which is more of a spiritual path that a lot of people are seeking, but are they really finding the answer they're looking for? The physical temple, because the body is a temple, so we have to build that physique that we can achieve these great feats, this identity. So we need to hold these identity. And then it creates this sense of community, so building these relationships around all of this. So that's why we created these systems. And I would say that we have seen amazing transformation with those guys that came through our programs. And there's a lot of other programs out there, but I would say that, yes, to answer your question, there's a lot of people that are missing out on their best life and their full potential because they're missing out on these systems.
Okay, so taking that a step further, how can leaders engineer their biology and discipline things like this so that they can perform better, whether it's under pressure or otherwise? Like, how is it possible? Like, how can they engineer their biology?
Well, most people try to perform under pressure using motivational tools or just watching some videos online, but performance is largely driven by biology.
Mm.
So, for example, if sleep, nutrition, training, or even recovery is not aligned or structured properly, then the energy and focus collapse. And even though that pressure rises. So leaders need to treat their biology like an operating system. And that's why at the Hungry Warrior Academy, we treat the person holistically, in a sense where we're looking at the whole person and where they're coming from and what they're bringing us in terms of this operating system. But when this driven factor like sleep is protected, then your nervous system is regulated, and then the body can function to its optimal performance. And that's only one of those aspects.
So I like to always, if possible, to give my audience some things that they can take away and they can think about and reflect on in their own lives. I'm curious about like standards. You mentioned execution before, and I'm interested in standards. Like, are there daily standards that can help high performers to maintain like some of these things, whether it be focus, resilience, clarity? Like, are there some daily standards that can help?
What we've seen at the Hungry Warrior Academy is attention. Attention is one of the driving factor for all successful humans on Earth. So attention is the most valuable resource leaders have today. But it's consistently under attack from digital overload, all of these distractions in life. So high performers, they protect their attention through a few key standards. So first is sleep, because sleep directly regulates cognitive clarity and emotional regulation. Second would be the physical training, which improves blood flow and stress tolerance and mental sharpness. And thirdly would be a structured focus. So creating those blocks where you are completely focused. There's a famous quote from Alex Hermosi, who was talking about not even taking any calls or any meetings before 10 a.m. And although for him, it's an extreme because he is able to live this life, when he was building gyms and living in his car, this guy was building a focused and structured life.
Yeah. So some of the things you said, they seem like they should be like the core, right? If you can get those three, if you can nail those three, or if you can hammer those three, it seems to me like you can build a very solid foundation that allow you to do like many other things. Am I off on that, or?
Definitely. And that's why, to me, when I train for the Epic DECA and all of these other feats that I've achieved, both physically, I became also an integrated engineer, where all the field of engineering into one, and I specialize in biomedical, and now I'm a naturopath, a practitioner. Now, because I prioritize sleep, training, focus, and I really take my attention to a whole other level. So my attention cannot be taken by everyone. I have to keep it as a golden resource. And when I can take all of this in, I can achieve much more than the average human that is essentially just consuming content recklessly without any self-control.
Yeah, I've heard that explained multiple ways, but I like the way that you're saying it, though. And what I also like, though, is that the pillars are, and I'm using the word pillar. You didn't use pillar for this particular example, but for the three things that you mentioned, so sleep, focus. What was the third one again?
Training, like physically.
And training,
correct,
physical. So sleep, training, and then focus. And if you can nail those three down, I can see it. Like, I like the way you explain it. JD, I want to go further into, like, what you mentioned the program and what you're doing. Can you get maybe a little bit more specific and just give us an overview of, I'm going to give you the opportunity, websites or contact info as well, all of that good stuff, but maybe go a little bit further into Hungry Warrior Academy itself and the types of individuals you work with and really how people can connect.
The Hungry Warrior Academy is a group of very successful individuals in their niche who now are able to give to the world and to their community and share the DECA system, which is, again, based on discipline, energy regulation, capacity, and then performing the action. How many times have I heard in a church people that say, I will pray for you, or we will pray about that, but never really put any action, and they're not really driven. And so at the Hungry Warrior Academy, we put the emphasis on the action part. So we take men and cohorts. We do speaking engagements also, where we do workshops, and we even have a center located in Canada where we build the men to become at their best self and bring their performance to a whole other level. This isn't just people who are going to be improving for themselves, but it's men that want to improve also in their community. There won't be any profanities or anyone being yelled at. This is for other cohorts, and there are lots of other places out there that they can go to. For us, we use a more scientific approach, a proven method and system that has worked for all of the people that worked in this. And when we start making money, we have a profitable company where now we are able to be in a philanthropic position in 5 different countries, assisting thousands of children, bringing them opportunities. So we are in Mexico, Kenya, Congo, Bangladesh. We are also in places part of the U.S., and we are helping thousands of children with giving them these opportunities. So we're not just making money, we're also providing opportunities for all of those people and all of those children. Because, see, the way I view it is men need to be protectors, but also providers. So we're building those men to be protectors, but we become also the providers by being the leaders that we want to see in the world.
I love this. This is great, JD. I like it. And I see the ripple effect. I see like the implications this can mean for society. The more people that can get out of, I don't want to say get out of their own way, but kind of, right, that can build on these blocks and can contribute. Like it's an advancement. It's whatever they choose to obviously focus their time on. But I think we all win as a society. So this is wonderful. Last thing I want you to do, JD, one more time. How do people follow up? How do they connect with you and your team?
They can go on LinkedIn and they can reach out to us, or they can go on our website, hungrywarrioracademy.com, and you can see all of the activities that we are doing, not only to build men, but also to help children around the world and provide them with opportunities that they would have probably never been able to have.
Amazing. For everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put the link in the show notes and so you can connect with JD and his team. Speaking of the audience, again, if this is your first time with us, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're bringing you new content, so we don't want you to miss any of the upcoming episodes. Hit that subscribe or follow. And JD, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks, Adam, for having me.